Hello, we have actually reached the halfway point in this series of videos because today I'm going to be looking at move 8 of the shibashi set. Excuse me. Can I just remind you that in your daily practice, please stick to the 4 moves that I demonstrate and lead in the set I lead later. The full shibashi set is balanced energetically, so to do half the moves isn't necessarily going to give you the same sort of benefit. When I've reached the end of this set, I will video the full shibashi set for anyone who's interested in including that as part of their regular Qigong practice. Because I've reached the halfway point, next week I'm going to take a slight interruption and I will demonstrate the 8 moves that I've demonstrated so far standing. I will show you how those can be done seated for those people who are unable to stand. So let's get on. And move 8 is called gazing at the moon. And I'll just demonstrate it for a moment. It starts with your hands in front of you like this, and as you breathe in, you dip on one knee, raise your arms to one side, and as you breathe out, your hands come back to the centre, and then you do the same on the other side. Okay, why is it called gazing at the moon? Well, this actually touches on, excuse me, something that's a part of Qigong that I haven't really mentioned so far yet, and that is your eyes. Because the theory is that with this move, as you get your arms up to the highest point, you should gaze at the moon, not by raising your head like that, because your chin should always be parallel with the floor, but by using your eyes, which you almost certainly can't see what I'm doing on this camera. But the eyes are also a useful part of helping direct your energy flow. So this move looks as if it's all about making massive swings with your arms. Well, yes, it is, but of course this is Qigong, so it's actually not. I'll break down the move step by step. So start with your hands out in front of you, and sometimes I will tell people to imagine they're holding a ball or a balloon between their hands. Now, as you dip on one knee and take a breath in, that kind of naturally pulls your arms up. If you dip on one knee, breathe in, and then turn from the waist, and we discussed that before, that naturally means that your hands move slightly to one side. Your hands should actually always remain in the same position relative to your body. So it's actually not much of a movement in the shoulders, it's a movement of your body that moves your arms from side to side. Obviously there is a slight movement up that's modulated by the shoulders, but most of it should come from the dip of the knee and the breath in. I mean, just for a moment, if you don't believe me, just stand with your hands by your side and just breathe in and breathe out. And there is a natural rise and fall of your body as you breathe in and out. And effectively what's happening is, or what should be happening is, that as you breathe in, that slight upward movement is reflected by your arms. So this is another move that's all about your core abdominal muscles. And this is another move where I will say turn from the waist. So maybe it's a good idea just to remind you about turning from the waist. Turning from the hips is easy. And that's actually very bad for the hips and the knees because you do strange things. Turning from the waist is very much from here. Your hips, your knees and your toes should all stay nicely aligned. So break this move down once again. You start with your hands in front of you. As you breathe in, dip slightly on your left knee, turn to the left, and let your hands just naturally rise up. If you want to, at that top point of your hands, just keep your eyes gazing through your hands, and if you can get your hands really high, just raise your eyes. Remember to keep your chin parallel with the floor. Again, that's something that I haven't spoken about much, which is the position of your head. By the time we've covered all the shibashi moves, that's something we would have talked about an awful lot more. So, we won't be doing that move today, obviously, but I hope that when we do the full set eventually, at least you've got that explanation for how it works. So, I'm now going to invite you to get yourself into your space. Make sure you've got room to spread your arms out without actually hurting or bumping into anybody. Turn your phone off. Try to make sure that you won't be disturbed for the next 20 minutes. Make sure you've got somewhere where you can sit or lie, do the meditation. And just get yourself into a good bear stance. That's feet to hip width apart. Knees very slightly bent. Feet parallel. Engage your core abdominal muscles. Make sure your back is straight. Make sure your neck is straight and tuck your chin in so that the crown of your head is pointing up at the ceiling. Make sure that your hands are hanging loosely and try to get that feeling of emptiness in your arms. Just for a moment, send your awareness down to your feet and make sure that your weight is evenly distributed. In just a moment, stand and breathe. Close your eyes if you want to, but you don't have to. Yesterday, one of the ladies in my class said that if she closed her eyes, it makes her feel dizzy. So if you don't want to close your eyes, don't. I tend to work with my eyes closed because I've been doing it that way for years. You don't have to. I just want you to breathe. Just breathe. Just use your breath. Tune into what your body needs. Tune into what your mind needs. And then can you imagine that you're in a lift? And this lift has got glass walls. You feel completely safe. And this lift looks out over the most beautiful scenery. With every out-breath, can you imagine every time you breathe out, the lift car gently floats down, floor by floor, until it reaches the ground. When you're happy that your lift has reached the ground, just gently turn your arms so that your palms of your hands are facing backwards. Make sure that your arms are hanging loosely by your side. Just breathe, and then when you're ready, with your next in-breath, just allow your arms to float up in front of you, and as you breathe out, they just sink down. Breathe in, arms float up. Breathe out, and they sink back down. Imagine puppet string on your wrist. So it's almost as if your arm is moving without your conscious thought. Breathe in, your arm floats up. Breathe out, and just let it sink back down. And you move your arms as far as you can easily manage in one gentle, easy breath. And you move your arms as far as your shoulders are happy to go. Not about doing it perfectly, but about doing it perfectly for you. Be mindful of signals that your body is sending you. And don't do anything that causes any pain or discomfort. So as you breathe in, your arms just float up. As you breathe out, they sink all the way back down. And then last time for this move. And then with the next in-breath, let your hands float up. Then turn your palms inwards and let your arms spread out. And as you breathe out, your hands float back in and back down. As you breathe in, really be aware of your chest and lungs expanding. And as you breathe out, really be aware that you're just relaxed. Maybe notice the expansion of your back as you breathe in, and those muscles almost pulling your hands apart. And then float back in as those muscles just relax. Maybe you can imagine on the in-breath you breathe in good and positive feelings. As you breathe out, release any stress or tension like a great smoke. Breathe in, let your arms float up and spread out. As you breathe out, they float back in and back down. And then last time for this move. And then with the next in-breath, take your arms up, ready to paint rainbows. As you breathe out, dip slightly on your left knee and let your right arm uncurl. As you breathe in, the weight comes back up and your hands meet at the top, and then do the same on the other side. It is called painting rainbows. Fairly obvious reasons. Breathe out, dip on one knee, the opposite arm uncurls, breathe in. And everything comes back to balance point. And the last time for this move, breathe in. The hands meet at the top. Then turn your palms out, and with the out breath, let your hands sweep all the way down by your side. And then with the in-breath, let your arms rise up again. And you take your arms up as high as you can get in one easy breath, and as far as your shoulders can easily manage. A small circle is just as good as a big one if that's what your body will do. Remember, it's not about doing it perfectly, but about doing it perfectly for you. Breathe in, your arms float up, breathe out, and they sweep down by your side. And then last time for this move. This time as you breathe out, bring your hands into position in front of your abdomen, ready to balance your chi. As you breathe in, imagine your hands running around a small ball, and as you breathe out, imagine you're trying to push that ball underwater. Breathe in, smooth around the ball. Breathe out, your hands sink down. Feel around that small ball and then just let your hands gently sink down. And then last time to be smooth. And this time as you breathe out, bring your hand into position in front of your abdomen. And just for a moment, I want you to stand very still. Just breathe. And just let everything settle. And then when you're ready, let your hands float down by your side and get yourself into position where you're going to sit, stand or lie for the meditation. And as ever, I'm going to start the meditation with the sound of a singing bowl. While getting yourself ready, I will explain one thing. Mindfulness is not about clearing your mind. It's about being aware of what your mind is doing. Now, if you find it easier to be aware of what your mind is doing with your eyes closed, then please feel free to close your eyes for the meditation. What it can be quite nice to do is to just allow your eyes to close as you listen to the sound of the singing bowl for the third time. But you don't have to close your eyes. It's quite acceptable to keep your eyes open. It's entirely up to you. So, once you've got yourself settled, whether you're seated, lying, or even standing, make sure you're in a comfortable position. And I'm going to sound the singing bowl 3 times. The third time, I'm going to let the sound naturally fade away. And I would like you to follow the sound of the singing bowl and try to find that point where the sound of the bowl fades into silence. Now, as the sound of the bowl fades away, you may very well be aware of other sounds. And just for a moment, just be aware of any sounds that are reaching your ear. Don't go looking for sounds, just be aware of any sounds that you can hear, whether inside or outside the room. And just for a moment, just suspend the normal tendency to identify, to classify, and just be aware of those sounds. And then can you let those sounds fade into the background as you move your awareness into your body? And first of all, I would like you to become very aware of where your body is on the bed or the chair, or maybe you're even lying on the floor, wherever you're comfortable. Can you be aware of where your body is touching the bed, the chair, or the floor? Just notice any textures, any different textures. Really get a sense of how your body is being supported right here, right now. Maybe imagine that gravity pulls you just a little harder than normal so that you sink a little further in. And as you do, let your shoulders relax a little bit more. Now I want you to move your awareness still further into your breath. Just want you to be aware of every in-breath and every out-breath. Now, normally, our breathing is something that happens so automatically we don't notice it. I just want you to notice it now. I don't want you to change your breath. Just breathe normally and just notice everything that you notice about every breath. If you find yourself wondering if you're doing it right, let go of that thought. There is nothing wrong. Whatever you notice is perfect for you. If you don't notice much, then just Register that you don't notice very much. Just notice what you notice and accept in a non-critical way whatever it is that comes to your mind. Now, keeping your attention on your breath, this is a very natural thing to do, and chances are you will discover that your mind wants to wander away to something else. Well, that's perfectly natural because human minds are meant to think. The problem is sometimes the things that it wants to think about don't make us feel so good. So when you notice that your mind has wandered away, I don't want you to criticise yourself or judge yourself or think you're doing anything wrong, because it's perfectly natural for your mind to want to think. And being aware of what your mind is doing is what mindfulness is all about. So when you notice that your mind has wandered away, I want you to congratulate yourself because you're succeeding in being mindful. And then just gently lead your mind back to focusing once more on every in-breath and every out-breath. Because right here, right now, all that matters is just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. And our minds can wander for all sorts of reasons. And they can wander many times, and every time they do, just lead it back. See, sometimes what our minds want to think about doesn't make us feel so good. And keeping your attention on your breath can be an anchor to help you stay in this moment. It's right here, right now. Only thing that matters is just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. What are you aware of in your breath? Maybe you notice air moving in your nose or throat. Maybe you're aware of muscles moving in your chest, or your tummy, or your abdomen. Whatever you're aware of is perfect for you. So whether you notice movement of air or movement of muscles, there is a lot of movement associated with your breathing. And so now, I'd like you to try to become aware of that moment of stillness that happens in between each breath. And your in-breath becomes an out-breath. And then again, when your out-breath becomes an in-breath. Just for a moment, everything is still. Don't hold your breath or change your breath in any way. Just become aware of that very brief moment of stillness. Now, in this busy world, stillness is something that can be very hard to find. We have busy lives and we have busy minds. But if we never stop, that's not good for us. So can you become aware of that brief moment of stillness? And as you do, maybe try to feel that stillness reflected in your body and your mind. Maybe you could consider the fact that that moment of stillness happens hundreds of times every day, whether you're aware of it or not. Maybe you could imagine that every time it happens, it puts a tiny drop of stillness into a place inside you for you to call on when you need it. Maybe you could imagine that point of stillness as a small point of light in the middle of your chest. As you breathe, and you imagine that point of stillness spreading out from your chest all the way up to your shoulders and down to your buttocks. Spreads all the way down your legs to your feet, all the way down your arms to your hands and fingers, and then all the way up into your head and face, so that every part of your body is now filled with that feeling of stillness. And you for a moment hold the whole of your body in your awareness and notice how good it feels for it to be filled with that feeling of stillness. Then can you move your attention back once more to your breath? Just become aware once more of every in-breath and every out-breath. And then let your feeling start to spread out again, so that you become aware once more of the touch of the bed, the chair or the floor on your body. Become aware of the sounds both inside and outside the room. And listen once more for the sound of the singing bowl, and if you have your eyes closed, allow your eyes to open when you hear the bowl sound for the third time. As you bring yourself back to normal awareness, keep in the front of your mind the thought that you can use your breath as an anchor to help you recall this good feeling anytime that you need to. Now do please make sure that you're fully alert and fully awake before you go on with the rest of your day, and please don't get into a car and drive until you're completely awake. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found it enjoyable. As ever, if there's anything specific that you would like me to deal with in the meditations, because this is just a basic mindfulness meditation aimed at just helping you to stay in this moment. But if you want me to tackle something specific like pain management or anxiety, depression, any strong emotion, even anger, then I'm very happy to tackle that in the meditation if you just PM me or leave a comment in the comment section of this video. So just to reiterate, next week I will go through the first 8 moves that we've done in the seated position, because I know there are some people who watch this who can't stand up. And there are probably lots of others watching this video that I don't know, who I know have difficulty standing up for the length of time of the shibashi set. Because there can be a number of reasons why: arthritis, MS, all these sorts of things can make standing difficult. So, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Do please consider going to my Patreon page to sponsor me. Sponsors get an extra video time with me, time that they decide what's going to be covered. There's even a level of sponsorship that gives you a regular one-to-one session with me that is just specifically tailored to your needs. And some of the sponsorship money will enable me to get some better video equipment to improve both the quality of the video and of sound. And I do know that the sound isn't as good as it could be. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next week.